I very much like to be hands-on. I like to go in there and make sure that I can sort of move with the band and make sure that I'm able to kind of dance with it as it's going along. My lying on the floor is my general appreciation of the idea that everything's going well and I don't need to stand up anymore.
My Valentine, will you be my Valentine?
I'm Jamie Reynolds from Klaxons. Today I am in a studio in London and I'm here to produce my friend's band, The Cabin Fever.
I'm Daniel Hall, I'm from The Cabin Fever, and we're here at the Red Bull Studios.
When I was younger, I first kind of realised that it's not the band that make the records. I think the first time I came across it was when I realised that George Martin worked with the Beatles. I just kind of want to bring my experience of how I've been kind of taught to work in the studio. I'm kind of bringing that attitude to what's going on now. And I think that I kind of bring my enthusiasm and my friendship with Daniel and I see sort of my background knowledge to it and that should do it, I hope. Cool. So the basic idea is, you know, I want to take it and this is just to get rough to the tracks, and then what we'll do is we'll sit in there and we'll listen to them and decide what kind of needs figuring out. Basically, I think that it's a drum thing, but I think it's easier to listen back to it than it will be to discuss it live.
I never got on with producers. I'm used to having an argument after the first minute of meeting them. It's hard enough to have your best mate, but, you know, I trust Jamie as a person, so. I first met Jamie at school. He thought I stole his bike. Fate drew us together and we've been friends ever since.
What's going on? We're sampling the drums so that we can add to it later on and we can start doubling everything up. I think that Daniel's kind of got this wonderful kind of, thankfully he's got this confidence that I kind of know what I'm doing around here, and we've chatted about what his songs are about, and I think that he knows that I'm on board with that.
Well, I'm kind of used to calling the shots with the band, just my songs and everything, so I had to have a new approach to it. It's a learning experience for me.
That's wicked. I like what you're doing. Like, it's good when you break into the mid for the vocals there as well. That's brilliant.
I didn't know whether he would just be pressing buttons and stuff, but it seems like he has a great vision for the songs.
I prepared for today by listening to the tracks and thinking what I was going to kind of bring to them, bringing my good friend and engineer Anthony Rosamundo with me, come down to sort of bring a sort of positive energy to the event, you know. Yeah, guitar bits are cool.
Maybe you do this with the sizzles and then do it with the sticks too.
To pick it up in the chorus.
Yeah, to pick it up a little bit, 'cause it's quite cool.
But we can do this as overdubs and drop them in a separate.
Yeah, totally.
Working with Anthony Rosamundo is absolutely brilliant. I'm kind of good at bringing a vibe and kind of arrangement to the whole thing, but he's very good at being hands-on. So he and I have always worked kind of around his house, and now here we are with more buttons to press. So it's an exciting day for the pair of us. I tell you what would be good if we could play it back. Can we play it back with just Daniel and the drums? Just with Daniel, the vocals and the drums.
I've got
it's all on one.
vocals and the acoustic guitar.
That's cool, that's okay, yeah, because it's leading from that anyway to go to the drums, yeah. Nigel is the in-house engineer here today, and when I ask him whether or not I can possibly hear something or have something done, he manages to pull that up. I've got absolutely no idea. He's the man with the knowledge. That bit's absolutely cool, but keeping the bass drum straight rather than doing the doubles. If I'm strict with people, I think I managed to add a little bit of humour in there so that they see the funny side of me asking for things to go my way, which so far I have done.
Where are you? Where are you, love?
The snare's there, you see, without the kick drum. Yeah, it's weird, but it's simple. It's simple. You'll get it.
Yeah. It's one of these really simple.
It's simple, but it's really difficult to be simple. Yeah. My interest in spirituality that was put quite heavily into our second record. I hadn't really thought about it until I started experimenting with Peruvian plant medicines. Both Daniel and I take influence from psychedelic experimentation quite literally to be put into music. So I'm going to visit the White Eagle Lodge in West London and go and meet a good man down there called Colin and try and further my interest in spirituality and spiritualism.
Jamie, hello.
Hello there, Colin.
This is a pleasure.
It's good to see you.
You too. This is the main chapel where the services, most of them take place, and where a lot of White Eagle's teaching was given, actually, in this very chapel.
What's the kind of symbolism with everything that's going on here?
Interestingly, there's no such thing in nature as a white eagle. In Native American symbolism, the eagle is the one bird that can fly directly to the sun. You know, I feel White Eagle's presence very strongly. I know he's here now, he's standing behind you, rather pleased that you're here.
It will be just you and me.
And we tend to run around thinking that our life is involved with getting better. But actually, there's a huge point in us just
Doing nothing.
doing nothing, just being.
I wrote a song about that on the last track on our record.
And me.
Our band took that symbol and we placed it on a flag on the front cover of our album, but again, it's another one of those things that nobody's picked up on or talked about or seems to know what's going on.
Spiritual truth is hidden and it comes out slowly.
Yes, exactly.
You'll find that in 30 years' time they're all talking about the flag.
They'll pop back to it. I think it's extremely important to get out there and soak things up so that you can put things back into music that don't have anything to do with music.
He'd had similar experiences to what I had years ago, and we've got this deeper connection now.
That was it. That was it. One down. Awesome. This will be the second thing that I've put together kind of off my own back, working with an engineer that's technically minded so that I can kind of concentrate on everything else that's going on in the room. But I'm sort of not nervous with it because I like the idea of the job of just kind of taking control of the session and making everybody feel comfortable. I think that's really the job.
It's an excellent place to record. I feel very relaxed here. It's like the film Big, where he gets that flat and he's got all those toys.
I think a producer can completely take control of a situation and it can be their own. I mean, they can sort of goad music out of an artist, or they can sit back and really kind of let the artist do their own thing and just make sure that it goes to tape. I think it really depends on who you're working with and what's there before you start working. Well, this is the most exciting part of the day. This is the first time that we get to listen back to the first track of the day. Congratulations, everybody. The first playback of the first track, Where Are You? This is momentous. Being creative is the most exciting thing because immediately, once you've made something, that immediate rush that you get from knowing that you've made something decent. Music's definitely my passion and where I work best and where everything's kind of happening. So, yeah, you know, that's going to go on unless I kind of find myself sitting over there all day.